It's my kind request. I am not that kind of a person. I've been here for 20 years.
Actor Allu Arjun's house vandalized. Telangana Chief Minister condemns attack. Politics erupts. BJP, BRS accuse Congress of targeting Allu.
As far as this specific episode is concerned, why the Congress party, Revanth Reddy's government is witch hunting the film personalities?
Why has Congress party taken this whole issue very personal? Why has it become a Congress party versus Allu Arjun?
Massive political war over Allu Arjun. Top focus on 6 p.m. Prime.
Good evening, you're watching 6 p.m. Prime here on India Today. I'm Akshita Nandagopal, and this evening we're talking about the big war of words that's been playing out over the weekend between superstar Allu Arjun and Chief Minister Revanth Reddy. Triggered, of course, by the stampede that had taken place on the day that Pushpa 2 released. But since then, of course, there's been an unprecedented escalation, including an incident of vandalism at Allu Arjun's residence. We're going to be running you through all the updates and asking that question of why it's come to this, where you're seeing this bitter war of words between the Chief Minister and a superstar. Let's begin with the headlines. Horrific collision near Bengaluru. 6 killed after a Volvo SUV known as the world's safest car crushed completely after container falls near Bengaluru. All occupants killed on the spot. Poet Kumar Vishwas faces flak for veiled Ramayana dig at actor Sonakshi Sinha's interfaith marriage. Congress hits out, demands apology from the poet. Crackdown on Khalistani terror in Uttar Pradesh. 3 pro-Khalistani terrorists killed in an encounter. Accused were involved in December 19 Gurdaspur police station blast. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar's crucial US visit confirmed the foreign minister will be in the United States from 24 to 29 December. Bilateral talks on agenda. Bangladesh seeks Sheikh Hasina's extradition. UNIS interim government sends diplomatic note to India. The former Bangladesh Prime Minister has been in exile for over 100 days. And another Indian American is part of Team Trump 2.0. Sri Ramakrishnan appointed as senior policy advisor on artificial intelligence for Trump. The back and forth between superstar Allu Arjun, the Hyderabad police, the Telangana government has escalated over the weekend. You had Allu Arjun holding another press conference after Chief Minister Revanth Reddy spoke in the assembly. And Allu Arjun claimed that nobody had informed him while he was at the theatre that a stampede had broken out, or for that matter, that a woman had died. And so the Hyderabad police, just about 24 hours ago, released CCTV footage from Sandhya Theatre showing Allu Arjun and his team leaving the premises under tight security following the stampede. They're claiming this is evidence that Allu Arjun stayed on till the end of the movie despite them informing him that a stampede had broken out. So while you're seeing all of these narratives and back and forth, the showdown over the stampede continues. The blame game over who was responsible for the death of Revathi continues.
The controversy surrounding Pushpa 2 premiere Stampede outside a cinema hall in Hyderabad on December 4 shows no signs of dying down. While superstar Allu Arjun repeatedly claims his innocence, the Telangana government continues to blame the actor for the mishap which led to the death of a woman and left her 8-year-old son critically injured. The Hyderabad Police Commissioner shared CCTV footage from Sandhya Theatre which shows Allu Arjun and his team exiting the premises under tight police security after the stampede broke out. As per the timeline released by the Hyderabad police, around 9:10 p.m. on December 4, Revathi and her family arrived at Sandhya Theatre for the premiere of Pushpa 2. At around 9:30 p.m., Allu Arjun, after crossing Mushirabad metro station, kicked off a road show and waved to the crowd, which as per the police was already unruly. At around 9:40 p.m., Allu Arjun and his family entered the theatre in different cars. The situation had already escalated by then. Around 11:30 p.m., the police reached out to Allu Arjun informing him about the fatality outside. Police claimed the actor insisted on watching the entire film. At 11:45 p.m., senior officers and the SHO of Chikkadpalli asked the actor to leave the theatre because of the situation outside. At around 12:10 a.m. on December 5, Allu Arjun and his family were escorted out of the theatre by the police. The police claimed the actor waved to the crowd outside the theatre as he left the venue. Allu Arjun had earlier claimed the police did not approach him at the theatre or ask him to leave.
There is also information that I've been very irresponsible going to the theatre without any permission, which is not true at all. The theatre has sought permission and I've been there, and right in front of my eyes there's police people who are clearing the way, so I was going by their direction. In fact, if there's no permission, they'll tell us that, sir, we don't have permission, please return back, and I'm a law-abiding citizen and I would have followed that. So nothing of that information was given to me.
The police also questioned the role of the actor's personal security guards.
जो भी वीआईपी है, अगर उनके बाउंसर्स का व्यवहार जो है, का बिहेवियर जो है, वो उनकी जिम्मेदारी है, वो वीआईपी की जिम्मेदारी है. वाइकेरियस लायबिलिटी जो है वो वीआईपी पर ही आएगा.
The Stampede in Hyderabad has put the spotlight on fan frenzy over big budget films featuring superstars.
Telangana Police and the Telangana Chief Minister Revanth Reddy making a strong statement saying that rules have to be followed and that rule breakers will not be exempted, be it a common man or a celebrity. With video journalist Damodar at Hyderabad, Apurva Jayachandran, India Today.
Okay, we've got breaking news coming in right now of the producers of Pushpa 2 handing over a check to Revathi's family. Remember Revathi, the 35-year-old woman who died in this stampede. Her family is the one who lodged the case. A check of 50 lakh rupees has been handed over to the family. And this is in fact by the producers of Pushpa 2. Remember, Allu Arjun previously in a video message soon after the stampede had promised that he would hand over 25 lakhs to the family members. Now you've got the producers meeting with them, but there will be questions of why now. The timing is something there will be questions over. The producers are choosing at a time when there's outrage, anger, there are charges flying thick and fast. They've chosen to meet with the family members and hand over this check of 50 lakh rupees. Remember, 35-year-old Revathi died in that stampede. Her son is currently in a vegetative state. So prayers with the family at this point. I want to also now bring in political analyst T.S. Sudhir, who tracks very closely what's happening in Telangana. Sudhir, good evening. You know, over the weekend, we've seen so many updates coming in, but in the assembly, what stood out is really Chief Minister Revanth Reddy's speech after what Akbaruddin Owaisi had said. And many are now questioning what led to Chief Minister Revanth Reddy being so harsh on Allu Arjun, and many questioning whether he has a bone to pick with Allu Arjun. What do you make of all these narratives?
Well, I mean, of course, there are many conspiracy theories going around as to why did the Chief Minister really lash out at Allu Arjun and the entire Telugu film industry by extension. But what it has done is to really expose the fault lines between the Telugu film industry and the Telangana government. Of course, the opposition parties like the BRS criticizing, saying that there was really no need when the entire matter is sub judice, there was really no need for the Chief Minister, who is also incidentally the Home Minister of the state, to actually place his point of view on the floor of the House, saying that this is what has been done wrong by Allu Arjun on that night of December 4 at Sandhya Theatre in Hyderabad. But definitely what has happened is that after the Chief Minister spoke in the Assembly, after Akbaruddin Owaisi leveled those allegations against Allu Arjun holding a press conference around 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock that night and trying to deny all that was said by the Chief Minister, that seemed to have made the matter much worse, and that's the result what led to the entire fracas outside Allu Arjun's house yesterday evening, and that seems to have worsened the relations between the Telangana government and the Telugu film industry, mainly Allu Arjun. Apart from that, the entire show the previous weekend, when a lot of film stars actually came and called on Allu Arjun at his residence, the entire thing was beamed live by many media houses, which was taken on the launch of that house. That seems to have given an impression that, Allu Arjun was trying to project himself as a victim, having spent the night at the Chantalguda Central Prison, and that seems to have rubbed the powers that be in the Telangana government the wrong way, saying that they are not the victim. The victim is Revathi, 35-year-old, and her son, who is battling for his life at Kim's Hospital in Hyderabad.
While we saw an aggressive Revanth Reddy speaking, so they're equally unprecedented, is the likes of Allu Arjun actually holding these kind of press conferences one after another, a few days apart. He's coming out constantly and feeling the need to speak out, to defend himself. What do you make of that? The message seems to be that nobody's going to back off here. They're defending themselves to the hilt.
Well, with apology to Chetan Bhagat, if Allu Arjun were to write a book now, he would also call it the 3 mistakes of my life. Because the first mistake was to have gone to Sandhya Theatre when permission had been denied by the local inspector of that police station, which looks after the RTC crossroads where Sandhya Theatre is located. The second mistake was not to have exited the theatre when the police officials reportedly told him to exit because a stampede had taken place outside, and it could be problematic if he were to leave after the entire movie got over. Of course, Allu Arjun has a different take on it, saying that he left the theatre almost immediately. The third was to have retorted to the Chief Minister's comments, because it seemed like he was taking on the Telangana government in that way. So all this has created this kind of an ego battle between the Telangana government and the Telugu film industry. What the Telangana government says is that they had actually extended a lot of incentives to Pushpa 2. They had allowed them to host this premiere show that night on the 4th of December, for which the ticket prices incidentally would have been 944 rupees, 800 rupees plus GST. They had also allowed them to hike the price of the ticket, 100 rupees for the lower stall, 150 rupees for other sections, and 200 rupees in the case of multiplexes. So they believe that they have actually given a lot of help to the Telugu film industry. But when it came to actually extending help to the victim, the Telugu film industry instead chose to stand by Allu Arjun instead of with the boy who is battling for his life at the hospital.
Very often when you at least look at it in almost every other state where there is, an active film industry, there's always a very, very cordial relationship between the state government and the film industry, almost like a give and take relationship. In this particular case, things have completely sorted there. So then going forward, how do you see things moving? Do you think that this is the government taking on Allu Arjun, or as you say, this is the government taking on the Telugu film industry's might?
Well, there have been a few precedents in the sense that when that entire demolition drive was started, the N convention, which is owned by actor Nagarjuna, that was demolished. And that was really the first incident which kind of soured relations between a prominent film star and the Chief Minister himself. Then comes this entire Allu Arjun episode. I wouldn't say it's the entire film industry which Revanth Reddy seems to be against right now. But definitely it has broken relations between the Telugu film industry and the Telangana government, and it would take some time for them to repair that. Remember, it is also the Andhra government which is actively wooing the Telugu film industry. They are saying that we will lay out the red carpet, you come and set up base in Visakhapatnam. So they do have offers from the Andhra Pradesh side, but Telangana government wouldn't really want the Telugu film industry to go. The same film industry was actively wooed when the BRS was in power for 9.5 years. But in the last 1 year, and more specifically since August, things seem to have gone from bad to worse. And it is for the cinematography ministry, it is for the chief minister's office and the representatives of the Telugu film industry to sit together and see that how we can move beyond this entire episode and try to put it behind them. Because the Telangana government, in the past, whether it be BRS or even the Congress to a large extent, has been supportive of the Telugu film industry. And it would be very bad optics if members of the Telugu film industry choose to set up base in Andhra Pradesh as well, as almost like a second option. That wouldn't be very good news for brand Hyderabad as far as Telugu film industry is concerned.
Very, very true. If you talk about the demolition case, There was a superstar concern there also that the government took on. This case also, you're talking about again a very, very popular superstar like Allu Arjun that Chief Minister Revanth Reddy is taking on. So we'll see really how this plays out, particularly considering the case is also sub judice while you're seeing all of this back and forth. Thanks very much, Sudhir, for joining us as always with your perspective and your analysis of what's playing out right now in Telangana. There were a number of points that Sudhir pointed out about really essentially what Allu Arjun had said versus how that's a direct contradiction to what the cops are saying. So let's just highlight those for you. Allu Arjun, remember, held that press conference on Saturday night where he said, I left before the movie ended. So the next day, on Sunday, the Telangana police promptly released CCTV footage to say that's not the case. CCTV shows that Allu Arjun was there till the very end, that he left only after the movie came to an end. Now, according to Allu, he says that authorities were informed about the theatre visit, that we sought permission and then only we decided to go there. He is saying that there's an attempt to ensure character assassination. There's no question of me having turned up without permission. Cops are saying there was a permission letter that was sent across. We denied permission and yet Allu Arjun turned up there. So they're saying we were informed, but we didn't give permission. We told them not to go and yet they went. Now, another big point that's a bone of contention here is that Allu Arjun says, while I was in the theatre, I left, but I had no idea that a stampede had broken out, that someone had died, that Revati had passed away because of the stampede. The cops again have in fact contradicted this. They've said that we went and informed him about the stampede and the fatality, saying we were stopped first by his bodyguards. But then an ACP level officer went and spoke to him and said, look, there's a stampede that's broken out, we need to leave, which is why they've released that CCTV footage of him being surrounded by security and making his way out. Now, Allu Arjun also, the other question was about, which the cops raised, about why he chose to step out of his car and wave at the crowds. Allu Arjun says, fans urged me to step out and wave, and that didn't trigger any sort of stampede. Now, the cops are saying Allu waved at the fans, Allu Arjun waved at the fans, and that's what triggered the craze, the frenzy, and thereafter the stampede. So you're seeing a lot of versions coming out. We don't really know exactly what transpired because the cops are saying, look, we have CCTV footage that shows Allu Arjun stepping out at the end of the movie with security, which you see there on your screens. They've released this footage. They've also said that we informed him about the stampede death, but there's no way that we can actually know who is really saying the truth because Allu Arjun is saying, I wasn't informed. Now, we've seen an unprecedented war of words, a back and forth between Allu Arjun and Chief Minister Revanth Reddy. Imagine this, a superstar and a Chief Minister not shying away from taking each other's names, targeting each other non-stop. And this happened just in 24 hours on Saturday. In the Assembly, Chief Minister Revanth Reddy hitting out at Allu Arjun and then Allu Arjun holding a press conference late into the night to address all of the allegations.
आप बिजनेस कर लो, आप पिक्चर निकालो, पैसे कमाओ, सरकार से इंसेंटिव्स ले लो, सब्सिडीज ले लो, स्पेशल प्रिविलेज शूटिंग के लिए जो होना है वो मांगो। मगर किसी का हत्या होने के बाद, किसी का जान चलाने के बचाने के बाद, किसी का जान लेने के बाद आज स्पेशल प्रिविलेज मांगे तो ये सरकार में नहीं मिलने वाले। मैं जब तक मैं कुर्सी में रहता हूं तब तक नहीं देता हूं।
I'm not here to be against any department or any political leader or individually or the government. There's a lot of misinformation, there's a lot of false allegation, and there's a lot of communication gaps and thinking that, and there are a lot of misquotations which I have not said. Please don't have character assassination on me. Please, it's my kind request. I am not that kind of a person. I've been here for 20 years. I have a reasonably credibility.
जहां पर लोग जनता के जान चले गए, जनता के जान चले जाने के बाद भी हम केस कुछ भी नहीं लगाए तो आप क्या बोलेंगे? सिनेमा एक्टर के लिए, फिल्म स्टार के लिए एक नया संविधान कोई कुछ बनाया। आम जनता अगर वैसे किए तो आप एक ही दिन में जेल में डाल देते।
We're extremely sorry for the family and I will personally be there to support them in whatever way possible. I was inside a theatre watching a movie with my family and the accident happened outside. It's purely of no direct connection to me. It's purely accidental, purely unintentional, and my love and sympathies are genuinely there with that family.
So what we showed you is multiple times that Allu Arjun and Chief Minister Revanth Reddy have been fighting it out since the Stampede incident. And remember that this is currently playing out in the courts too, because Allu Arjun has been named as an accused in the FIR. Very serious charges against him. The reason that he went behind bars for a night in Chanchalgoda prison is because he's facing the charge of culpable homicide not amounting to murder, which is a non-bailable offence. But the court did in fact give him respite of 2 weeks. That was the Telangana High Court. The other charge against him as per the FIR is voluntarily causing grievous hurt. The third charge is that of negligence. So these are the allegations, the charges that Allu Arjun faces. And of course, there's a lot of anger as a result of that. What we've seen as a result of the showdown and the war of words between the Chief Minister and the superstar on Saturday was that on Sunday, a group had gathered outside Allu Arjun's residence and then went on a vandalism spree. Violence broke out outside a superstar's residence. First, of course, there were questions about what kind of security was provided by the administration that actually allowed something like this to happen at Allu Arjun's residence, which anyone would have believed is a high security zone, considering all the developments that have taken place. And then you had details emerging of the accused, one of them being linked to the Congress. There's a lot of politics that's playing out over this attack on Allu Arjun's residence. Let's get you those details in our next report.
The political fire over Pushpa 2 star Allu Arjun is exploding. Hours after the superstar's house was vandalized in Hyderabad, the BRS released this image of the main accused with Chief Minister Revanth Reddy, claiming that Reddy Srinivas is not an Osmania University student leader but a close aide of the Chief Minister.
It is really shocking that Revanth Reddy has chosen to talk in the assembly about the Allu Arjun issue. Why has Congress party taken this whole issue very personal? Why has it become a Congress party versus Allu Arjun?
As a counter, a Congress MLA posted a picture of the same accused with BRS leader KT Ramarao, but admitted that the accused did belong to the party.
He is an OU JST leader in 2009, that is fact. At the same time, he contested, even that is fact. Before this election, he was in BRS, that is also a fact. Now he is in Congress.
But presently he is a youth Congress leader.
No, he doesn't have any post in this Congress. He is just a Karyakarta of Congress party.
The Telugu superstar's arrest and the attack on his house has the opposition gunning for the Revanth Reddy government.
The situation over here and the environment over here for film industry is so strong. Definitely we would like to condemn and action will be taken according to law.
Why the Congress party, Revanth Reddy's government is witch hunting the film personalities. This kind of episode will really make the people scary about living in Telangana.
AIMIM leader Akbaruddin Owaisi triggered another storm as he gunned for Allu Arjun.
2 बच्चे स्टैम्पेड में आ गए, एक औरत मर गई, उसके बाद भी वहीं पर बैठकर पूरा पिक्चर देखकर उठकर जाते वक्त भी वो स्टैम्पेड को नहीं देखे, वो फिर गाड़ी में बैठ के ऐसा वेव कर लेते हुए गए. सर, इंसानियत कहां है बताइए?
A massive protest took place outside the house of Allu Arjun on Sunday, with a large group of people claiming to be students of Osmania University barging into his Hyderabad residence. The protesters also threw tomatoes, broke flower pots inside the house and raised slogans of "We want justice." 6 people were arrested. All were granted bail on Monday by a local court.
మేము దేనికి రియాక్ట్ అవ్వకూడదు ప్రస్తుతం అవి చూసి, బట్ పోలీసులు వచ్చారు, వారిని తీసుకెళ్లారు, కేసు పెట్టారు. ఇవన్నీ ఇక్కడికి ఎవరైనా గొడవ చేయడానికి వస్తే పోలీసులు తీసుకువెళ్ళిపోవడం రెడీగానే ఉన్నారు. కనుక ఇటువంటి ఎవరు ఎంకరేజ్ చేయకూడదు.
The wildfire over the stampede that killed Revati and turned her 9-year-old son Shritej into a vegetative state continues to rage on. Bureau Report, India Today.
So the BRS and Congress right now fighting it out over these alleged links to the accused. Now the Congress has admitted that yes, one of the accused is linked to us, but now has links to the BRS too. And while you're seeing in fact all of this politics playing out, let's focus on Allu Arjun. Does he have any sort of political link really? And there is very much a link. Look at those faces on your screens. Allu Arjun belongs to what's referred to as the Tollywood First family. Pavan Kalyan is his uncle. He's currently the Andhra Pradesh Deputy Chief Minister, Janasena Chief. So he's into active politics. His other uncle Chiranjeevi also, of course, attempted politics but wasn't very successful. Had a stint with Congress too. And then you have his father-in-law, his wife Sneha Reddy's father, Kancharla Chandrasekhar Reddy, is a Congress leader. So for anyone who tries to suggest that, look, this is Revanth Reddy trying to in fact have a political board to pick, not necessarily the case, because Allu Arjun's family does have Congress links. Allu Arjun also in the 2024 elections in Andhra Pradesh had campaigned for YSRCP leader Silpa Ravi, but that he said was because he's a close personal friend. So I had campaigned in Namdiyal Forum, who had subsequently lost, by the way. So Allu Arjun has never been actively involved in politics, but he's got a lot of family, friends who he's campaigned for and all of that. And considering, like I said, this is the Tollywood First family, inevitably there is going to be politics also that seeps in. But many Congress links that emerge, over which there are questions as to why then is Chief Minister Revanth Reddy going on this rampage against Allu Arjun. Revanth Reddy maintains it's because he's seeking justice for 35-year-old Revathi's family. We're slipping into a short break here on 6 p.m. Prime. Coming up on the other side, we'll get you details of a truly horrifying accident that took place near Bengaluru. Those images that you see on your screens, it's of a Volvo SUV crushed completely after a container fell on it in a highway.
Motorola Razr 50 Ultra comes with Google Gemini.
ज़माने से हटकर बेबाक है मेरा सिग्नेचर. Signature Finest Cardamom Seeds, a premium product from Dilbar Group.
Rangila with Motorola's incredible range of smartphones.
Hello, Moto. Motorola Razr 50 Ultra comes with Google Gemini.
Hi, I am AI anchor Sana, bringing the top headlines for you, presented by Motorola. BJP released Arop Patra against Delhi government, listed corruption and failures of Aam Aadmi Party. Setback to ex-IS trainee Pooja Khedkar, Delhi High Court rejects anticipatory bail plea. Second phase of Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar's Pragati Yatra announced. Tour will commence from 4th January.
From the country's #1 netas.
महाराष्ट्र के प्रोजेक्ट्स गुजरात जा रहे हैं, ये सब झूठ है, ये भी फेक नैरेटिव है, उनके पास कोई मुद्दे नहीं है.
3 लोगों को संभालना बहुत मुश्किल बात नहीं लगती आपको?
देखिए साहिल, एक पार्टी में भी अड़चने होती है.
All the people I've been speaking to in Wayanad, ma'am, they call you as Priyanka Chechi.
It's really touching, also an honor for me.
आप अपनी नजर में अपनी इमेज कैसे चेंज करना चाहते हैं?
मैं बहुत स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड हूँ, वो बदलने की मैंने कोशिश की.
बीजेपी के टॉप लीडर से बातचीत चल रही है आपकी बिहाइंड द सीन?
हम बिहाइंड द सीन्स कभी नहीं करते, जो है खुलेआम करते हैं.
That's a narrative which he's copying from someone else, from another good friend of mine.
अभी भी राहुल गांधी दोस्त है आप?
I not named anyone.
You know, we've seen, of course, a lot of talk about Adani and the Congress's criticism, and yet joining hands with them in Telangana.
I think you should ask this question of Rahul Gandhi, who keeps talking every single day about Adani and corruption.
कि शिवसेना किसी व्यक्ति या किसी फैमिली की पार्टी नहीं है.
चोर की भी तो नहीं है, डकैत की भी दो नहीं है.
ब्लेम गेम हो जाता है. जो दिल्ली की सरकार है वो यूपी पे डाल देती है, हरियाणा पे डाल देती है, सेंटर पे डाल देती है. तो हमको वोट भी उन्हीं को देखकर करना चाहिए. Do you think there's a lack of global outrage on what's happening in Bangladesh?
Everyone talks about how minorities should be treated in India. How come no one talks about minorities, how they're being treated in Pakistan or Bangladesh?
Fearless, sideless, no excuses. All netas, all sides. One channel. India Today.
Welcome back. Let's get you, in fact, images that have come in of a truly devastating accident near Bengaluru on December 21st. That's got everyone talking. 6 people were crushed to death. And for no fault of theirs. They were traveling in what's deemed as the safest car in the world, in a Volvo SUV, and yet stood no chance because while they were traveling on a highway, a container actually fell on the car, completely flattening it. 6 people inside that car, all dead in a matter of a second. It's led to obviously a serious debate about whether there's anything that can be done to actually protect ourselves on Indian roads.
Family of 6 killed in a tragic road accident. Travelling at a high speed, a truck veered off course, crossed the median and overturned onto a Volvo SUV, crushing what it touted to be among the safest cars in the world. The truck carrying aluminium pillars was going to Bengaluru when the driver lost control of the vehicle while attempting to avoid a collision with another vehicle ahead, which had apparently slowed down suddenly.
This was the exact truck, as you can see, and you can also gauge the kind of impact that this accident has had. The front of this lorry has completely been smashed. In fact, including the steering that's been completely out of shape. You can also spot the inner parts of this truck, as you can just imagine the impact of the fall.
The impact of the chilling crash was catastrophic, leaving the car completely mangled, killing an IT company's CEO and 5 of his family members.
Every single part of this car has been brought out because of the catastrophic accident that took place. You can also take a look at that seats, the debris, the dirt. It's just completely bone chilling to even imagine the plight of that people who were seated inside this car.
The family had recently bought the SUV. The accident has sparked a conversation about road safety, with many pointing out that even the safest cars cannot save lives if others on the road are driving recklessly. With Anaga Keshav in Bengaluru, Bureau Report, India Today.
Just how heartbreaking is that incident. Look, we can look out for ourselves. We can wear seat belts. We can be driving carefully. We can be sitting in what is deemed as one of the safest cars in the world. And yet you can meet with a tragic accident like this. I think it's a reality check that unfortunately we need here in the country. Joining me is Dr. Kamal Soy, member of the National Road Safety Council, part of the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways as well. Thank you, Dr. Soy, for joining us. It's unfortunate, like I said, and everyone who's seen this story says exactly the same thing. What do we do to ensure our safety on roads today? Everything we can do and yet meet with this kind of a chilling fate.
Absolutely, you're right, Akshita. This is really unfortunate. 6 precious human lives have been lost due to, I will say, I don't know, it may be negligence or it may be crash, which would have been triggered by the, apathy of our driver. This, the driver of the container might have been tailgating a car, which I was given to understand there was a blue car which this guy was following, and the blue car applied the brakes, and then he couldn't control it. Now the question comes, we have to understand whether this vehicle has passed fitness testing or not in recent times. Number 2, the driver was well versed, because you cannot tailgate while you are taking a 40-feet container on your truck, and 40-feet container, as of if we look at the load, it should have been carrying about 25 to 30 tons of load in it. So as soon as he pressed the brakes, might have been, I'm trying to guess out what would have had happened. The vehicle would have, but the brakes could not have been applied. Number 1. Number 2, the vehicle would have been overweight, overloaded with
making it tilt over. You know, what's worrying here, Doctor, what's worrying here is that where do you kind of, ensure that there's a crackdown? You will see, of course, a lot of talk about an investigation now and whatnot, but it comes down to a basic question of ensuring that guidelines are followed, which even now, after so many years, we still don't do in the country. We don't enforce. We don't have any laws that are followed, which leads to these kind of incidents. You're talking about the container being overweight, this vehicle coming. There was no median, clearly, that made it so easy on a highway for a car to be crushed in this manner.
Yeah, you're right, absolutely, Akshita. Number one, I have been advocating since a long time that our fitness testing should be automated. Although Government of India has already issued guidelines that all the fitness testing in the country should be automated, so that only roadworthy vehicles. I again say, maybe this vehicle was not roadworthy. This driver's brakes were not good. The tires might have been withered out. I was just looking at the tires. The tires might have been withered out. So the vehicle could not grip the road. So that's why this vehicle turtled. Now coming back to the car, this is the most safest car, XC90, and this is being tested for the roof strength as well. The roof strength says this can carry a load about 10 to 15 tons. So no,
but can any car actually survive something like this, Dr. Soy, of a container falling and crushing you? Is there any chance of a car surviving this?
That's why I'm coming to that. Now, once we are doing crash testing of this car, so this car advertises for 10 to 15 tons of load it can take on its roof. So this vehicle might have been so much overloaded that this vehicle, once the vehicle overturned on the car, it crushed everything. So the onus lies on the driver. Onus lies on the enforcement agency.
100%. But the question also is about why these kind of mishaps even happen. I mean, there's no way that the driver actually could ensure the safety of his family. Did everything he could and yet couldn't, was completely flattened out in seconds because of this kind of what I'd call a freak mishap. Dr. Soy, thank you very much for joining us with your views on what really played out. Truly unfortunate. It is really a wake-up call for every one of us, perhaps, to ensure that we force authorities to act, ensure guidelines, laws are followed, because, on any highway, you're simply not safe no matter how many precautions you take. Moving on, let's talk about the GST Council meeting that took place in Jaisalmer, led by Nirmala Sitharaman. That's sparked a meme fest and a whole lot of anger. A decision first to tax popcorn in 3 slabs, 5 to 18%, has triggered social media uproar. So has the decision to actually up GST on the sale of used cars. Let's explain to you all the big announcements made by Nirmala Sitharaman and why there's so much talk about it.
A 2-day meeting of the high-powered GST Council in Jaisalmer, attended by nearly all state finance ministers and headed by Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. Several important decisions were taken at the meet, but what ended up hitting headlines, particularly in social media, was the decision to take the humble popcorn in 3 slabs, from 5% to 18%. Social media erupted with memes and humorous responses. With users joking about everything from tax slabs for drinking water to wondering how the various popcorn mixes will be taxed. The chatter in social media was such that even the finance minister took cognizance of the issue.
From the morning, there's a lot of speculation in the media. And as a result, there's a lot of speculation in the social media. अरे पॉपकॉर्न के ऊपर भी डाल रहे हैं टैक्स। मैं मीडिया से हाथ जोड़कर रिक्वेस्ट करती हूं, ये पूरे प्रेस मीट हम करते हैं हर जीएसटी काउंसिल के बाद। टैक्स ऐसे विषय है जिसमें बहुत लेयर्स होता है, कोई आंख बंद करके टैक्स लगाते भी नहीं है और आंख बंद करके हटाते भी नहीं है।
Another issue which caught the fancy of social media users was the increase in GST rate on sale of used cars. Social media pages exploded with angst over what everyone thought was injustice by the GST Council. There were reports that the council had decided to impose a tax on sale of used vehicles. Ultimately, it emerged that the tax was only for transactions between businesses and not individuals.
नया व्हीकल्स ईवी खरीदने में 5% है. Am I right? 5%. पुराने ईवी व्हीकल्स खरीदने का विषय ही आया है. We want to promote EV. GST Council is in favor of EV. Nobody is stopping people from buying EV. मगर used EV खरीदने के समय एक व्यक्ति दूसरे व्यक्ति को सेल करेगा तो कोई नहीं है उसमें. The same thing as 5%. No GST. Sorry.
With the council deferring decisions on lowering the tax on life and health insurance premiums as well as levying tax on food delivery by app-based platforms, there have been some on social media who have criticized the council for making popcorn the headline decision in the meet. Bureau Report, Business Today Television.
On the other side of a short break, we'll take you through the Hollywood story that's got the world talking. Blake Lively is suing. It ends with us co-star Justin Baldoni for sexual harassment. More details coming up on the other side.